The Fantasy Footballer Studio is sponsored by Walmart. Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Welcome in. Happy Friday, everybody. Mike Wright, Jason Moore, Andy Holloway, the Fantasy Footballers. August 29th, back in the building. Big time draft weekend just ahead of us.
And now, if you'll excuse us, a quick ad break.
Okay. So, perfect, Jason. Welcome in, one and all. And an extra special welcome to the YouTube community who watches our show every day.
Somehow.
We have to get something off our chests right here at the top real quick. I'm laying down on the couch last night. It's about, I don't know, almost 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Whoa, burning the candle, Andy.
Wow.
Goodness
Okay,
gracious.
all right.
Man.
Yeah, I was kind of letting it hang out. And I'm looking at the episode yesterday, and I'm seeing these comments, and I'm gonna be honest with you, YouTube, you're wonderful people, but you can be a lot in the comments sometimes. So we don't always read them. We do try to browse them and see. I want to know if something's going wrong with the show, basically. So we check the comments, and I'm looking, and I see a couple comments, and they're like, man, there's a lot of ads in this show. Like every 3 minutes there's an ad. I'm like, I literally reply, I'm like, what are you talking about?
That's impossible.
We've had 2 ad breaks for 10 years.
Yeah, so our show it's very standard format. You might get an ad at the very beginning before the show begins. We have 2 dedicated, defined ad breaks. There's even music leading into them. And then we have a post roll sometimes. That's it. That's all we've ever had. I'm seeing these comments and I'm going, what is going on? Like, people are saying, are they just complaining about the normal ads? Like, that seems like a thing people could do.
Oh, people love complaining.
And then I start watching the show.
It's really my favorite.
And one stood out to me, and they said that sometimes they cut off what people are saying. And I'm like watching Mike, and I'm watching him do his MVP Ken Walker thing, and right in the middle of a word, an ad pops in.
Yeah, even YouTube is like, shut up about Ken Walker, dude.
Enough already.
That'll do.
So long story short, we discover that YouTube, in their effort to, I guess, secure more YouTube Red memberships or something to that extent, they made some adjustments to their ad placement, and they started if you don't define the ads, which we always have done, something was glitching out over the last month. And so I would say at least half the episodes, Al, you were the one doing the legwork last night, fixing everything. Probably more than half the episodes in August, right?
Yes.
And we're automatically placing ad breaks and overriding what we did.
Like every 3 minutes.
Every 3 minutes. And I am, like, Jason made the comment to me, he goes, I can't believe we still have subscribers. So we posted a note in the community chat on YouTube and on Twitter this morning, but we have discovered the insanity that was going on YouTube in the last month, and we are so freaking sorry that you have been enduring these random ad breaks that, if you have YouTube Red, you don't even see it, or YouTube Premium, whatever they call it now. You don't even see it. So we had not discovered this until last night. It has been fixed. It will be fixed going forward. I'm going to do something here. We're going to pick 5 random YouTube comments today. I'm going to buy you your favorite jersey. We'll buy you your favorite jersey from whatever team and player that you want. As
long as it's the Arizona Cardinals.
So we can get it on a discount.
Oh, yeah.
No. We'll pick 5
cheap.
comments today. Thank you for sticking with us through the insanity of that. It made me want to throw up last night. So there you go. We're not that desperate for cash. We're not that desperate for cash. We're trying to give you an ad every 3 minutes. In fact, we want you to have an amazing experience watching the show, and thank you for enduring the insanity the last month. It's been fixed. It will be fixed going forward. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That out of the way, we have news. We have our final mock draft today, a final lay of the land heading into the weekend. If you're drafting Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or before kickoff, this will be a perfect chance to see exactly where we have players going, how we build teams.
This one feels different because I know all three of us are in, like, right now we are towards the very end of at least 3 legit live leagues. So we are past real drafts now, and our League of Record draft is Monday. So this is I'm taking this one serious. This isn't like, I'm going to test this theory. This is
it's go time.
This is the real test.
This is the real test.
Yeah, and news changes all the time. We do have drafts also starting tomorrow in the Megala Bowl. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then one Wednesday draft, Wednesday morning. So it looks, I don't know if it matters, but it looks like the Saturday early draft is the most popular draft so far. But we have 2-a-days through Tuesday and then a Wednesday morning draft for the Megala Bowl. If you want to get in and play in that league, I think we're up about 16,000, 17,000 people so far at megalabowl.com. Let's talk some NFL news.
News and notes from around the league, presented by Progressive Insurance.
Yeah.
It happened.
Micah Parsons
Ha
has been traded.
Yes.
Peak Micah Parsons has been traded from the Cowboys. In exchange. Okay, that's Al Borland, very excited Packer fan. Been traded to the Packers.
Here, Jeremy, I got you.
I'm never going back to the pet store.
You're darn right.
I saw somebody yesterday said they thought that song had always said the pet store. I'm never going back to the pet store.
What?
And they were in. I don't know why, but they were in on that. Cowboys, no more Micah Parsons. They get 2 first-round picks and a defensive tackle, Kenny Clark. The Packers then signed Micah Parsons to a record-breaking $188 million contract extension, the most money ever for a non-quarterback. Okay, reactions. This is not normally fantasy football talk, but I mean,
this is fantasy football. This is legit fantasy football talk because if you look at what the Cowboys' defense has been with Micah Parsons on the field and without, it's basically one of the top 3 or one of the bottom 3 defenses. And if you're telling me that the Dallas Cowboys have no run game and no defense, but they've got Dak and CeeDee and George Pickens, and I'll even throw Fergalicious in there right now, it excites me more for what they're going to have to do. If they want to win games, they're going to have to score 30 points if their defense sticks. It's very similar to, like, why we love the Bengals.
Yeah, NFC Bengals.
Yeah, they've got the weapons in the receiving game, and they're going to have to score 30 points to win. I love that from a fantasy football standpoint. And then, obviously, on the flip side of that, to me, Josh Jacobs becomes more relevant. This is a team that could be winning on defense and running the clock out slightly more. Obviously, that's just what happens. People talk about, when you run the ball over 25 times a game, you win. No, it's when you win the game, you get to run the ball a lot at the end. So those things matter. I kind of have slight tweaks in my mind of just excitement about the Cowboys receiving game and the Packers run game.
Yeah, I think 2 of us, maybe Mike and I, had the Packers winning the division already.
Dude, that was so long ago. I don't know.
And
you both did.
Well, I mean, because I saw this coming.
Changed.
Well, look, the catch here, I mean, the Packers, you got to do this. This is amazing. I will say, like, this is the most all-in move you can make. I mean, you not only have to pay Micah Parsons, which destroys your cap situation, because him and Jordan Love, I mean, those are like the only 2 $100+ million players on the same team, but you also have no picks for the next couple of rounds. I mean, this is very much.
Oh, they can't afford them.
This is my team last year. Like, I am going all in. I'm trading everything I can for stars.
So you think they lose in the Super Bowl then?
Okay, it's just very all in. Very nice. Thank you.
Speaking of Super Bowl, like, we see players change teams, and then you're like, oh, did this do anything to the odds? The wise guys.
Did it actually make a difference?
Vegas.
A big running back signing.
Yeah, and you're
crickets.
Like, they've gone from 8.5 wins to 8.5 wins. It literally does nothing. But the Micah Parsons trade, the Packers Super Bowl odds went from plus 1,800 to plus 1,400, and the Cowboys dropped from plus 5,500 to plus 6,500. Like, this was.
I don't know about that. Jerry says this makes them a better team.
Yeah, I've heard.
He was asked one question, and he spoke for 11 minutes and 5 seconds.
Man.
Nobody likes a press conference more than Jerry Jones, and nobody's gone through enough. Like, I've watched that whole documentary. It's perfect timing. I just got done with 8-part of Jerry Jones documentary on Netflix, and you go all the way back to Herschel Walker and all these other trades, and he wants credit for doing something crazy. That's what he wants. That works, right? And he fought over Jimmy Johnson in the Herschel Walker trade. Who gets credit?
Yeah.
You're 82. Who cares?
You ain't got time for picks.
You own a team. Why do you care who gets credit? It's delusional. Cowboys fans have got to be so frustrated.
They're plus 1,200 now?
Correct.
Goodness gracious.
The Packers?
Yeah, like this is
they're getting bet on.
This is
hard.
It's a huge move. I talked about it when this was going on. It's like, yeah, I want to finally see a superstar go to Jerry Jones. However, metaphorically or actually, like, no, you messed around, dude, and now you're going to find out. I don't want to be on this team anymore.
Did you see Micah? Did you see?
I saw him celebrate
when he was doing a live podcast. He was interviewed, and it was Jordan Love was on there on the podcast, and it was live, a studio audience and everything. This was not that long ago, and he kind of makes a joke like, "Why don't you come play for us?" And Micah's just like, he's like, "No, I'm a lifer." He's like, "Jerry Jones is my guy." He's like, "I will never leave the Cowboys."
Yeah, but you get to a point where you're insulted.
It sounded like the news yesterday, the reporting was, even when the trade was ready to go, the agent and Michael Parsons went back to the Cowboys and said, "No, let's talk." Like, he wanted to be there.
Yes,
still.
and then
Jerry didn't want to work with the agent.
Yeah, and
it's all pride.
Can't remember who Jane Slater. I'm trying to remember who tweeted it, but it's like confirming that this was said of. That conversation happened, and then the Cowboys said, "No, play on the 5th-year option or get out of here."
Yeah, it became pride.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Yeah, it's ego.
I'll go take all of that generational money.
Yeah, it's outrageous. So there you go, big time trade. We got news from Buccaneers general manager Jason Licht. How do you pronounce his last name? Is it
Licht?
Okay, thank you. Said Chris Godwin is likely to return in week 5 or later. So that is a long time.
Yeah. So what are they doing over there? I do not know, because you have a roster spot of your 53 that'll be dedicated to Chris Godwin. I know he gets to practice, but this is.
And what was the GM's name again?
Jason Licht.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. A.J. Brown is practicing. This is good news for the game that is less than a week away. Marvin Mims returning to practice after the groin strain.
Well, they're saying he will return on Monday.
Oh, okay.
So that's
right.
TBD.
Yes. And then we did get a report, Mike LaFleur talking about the plan is to split carries up a little bit more with Kyron and Blake Corum. I think we talked about it on the Footcast.
Yep.
Jason, you said, interestingly enough, being the Kyron truther.
Yeah, I do believe that this is true. I am not scared off of it at all. I don't look at Kyron Williams as a player that when I'm drafting at the 2-3 turn, that I'm drafting him because he gets 90% of the snaps and an extreme workload. I still believe he will be the lion of the timeshare.
I do look at him that way. I look at him as extremely touchdown dependent and workload dependent because of the efficiency struggles the last 2 years.
Opportunities though.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm not saying that this is moving him. I didn't move him off of this information.
I didn't move him either.
But I do look at him as somebody that I don't think would be good on limited touches.
It is funny, though, the Jarquez Hunter truthers.
Right.
It's like, he is clearly not the backup here.
Yeah, that's at least what they're saying.
Well,
and doing. I mean, you look at how the utilization in camp.
We don't have game film yet, but it sounds like it'll be Corum as the backup.
That was News and Notes, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions. It's time to mock.
The Fantasy Footballers Mock Draft.
There you go.
The final mock.
The final mock. Here we go. We have a 12-team, half PPR, 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex, 4 bench mock draft. We randomly assigned draft spots today. Mike got the 6th spot. I'm at 8. Jason at the turn at 12. Maybe just so used to it from some of our other drafts.
The early off season, I was constantly at the back of the draft. I've been a little higher recently, but I will say I enjoy being late. So long as it's not a super flex. If it's a non-super flex, I really like being late in most drafts. But I think with this group of all very like-minded individuals, I doubt that the players I see dropping to the 12 get there in this one.
Well, away we go. Jamar Chase goes number 1. Bijan, Saquon, CMC off the board. 2, 3, 4. Mike shaking his head. CeeDee Lamb goes off the board at 105, putting Mike on the clock here in round 1.
This one's easy. It's Jahmyr Gibbs.
All right. That's a shame.
I don't need to do a whole thing. Like if I'm at 6 and there is another McCaffrey truther in your league and he's gone, and Jahmyr Gibbs falls, okay.
Yep, that puts me on the clock at 108. I was somehow hoping maybe Jahmyr Gibbs slipped by. I was in a similar position in another draft, a little bit different format. I actually went Puka Nacua right here in another draft. I was on the fence between Puka and Derrick Henry, so I'm going to take Derrick Henry in this mock as for some reason we just aren't giving him his due still. So one of the Super Bowl contending best teams in the league, Henry will be the pick for me in the first round. Mike with Gibbs, and we have Chase, Lamb, and Jefferson, the wide receivers off the board. Al Borland on the clock. Well, I guess after Henry it went Ashton Genty, then Amon-Ra, then Malik Neighbors. And Jason, you're on the clock at the turn.
Yeah, this is really interesting. So given that it's a mock, what I really want to do here is take Puka and Nico. I think each one of those guys could finish as the wide receiver 1. I believe both of those guys will be a top 7 wide receiver. To start that way is great. When you're on the turn, it gets really dicey whether or not you give yourself the flexibility of going 1 running back, 1 wide receiver. If I was to look at the running back position here, it might surprise you. It's certainly not ADP, but according to my rankings and what I would go Jonathan Taylor. So it would be
Josh Jacobs after the previous discussion.
Love Josh Jacobs as well, but I've got Johnny Taylor even higher.
Could Josh Jacobs finish number 1 overall?
I think Josh Jacobs could, but it would be tough sledding. I look at Jonathan Taylor and Josh Jacobs. I think they're outstanding. I don't really think either one could finish as the number 1 running back fantasy option because they're not high volume receivers like a Bijan, like a Gibbs, like a Christian McCaffrey. So because I think there's a tier difference, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the guys that I think are absolute difference makers set apart at their position. I'm going to take Puka and Nico.
All right.
Any purpose behind the order you took them in?
None.
Okay.
I don't even know which order I took them in.
Because you disrespected Nico is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I respected Puka. How dare you?
All right.
I'm a glass half full guy.
It's half full for Puka.
It's half empty for Nico.
But I look at the positive side.
Puka,
I'm looking at the water. You're looking at the air.
Puka, Nico, the first pick of the second round, a second-round pick, as you'd call it.
No, first pick.
Drake London goes next. Josh Jacobs, Brian Thomas. I had a group of 6 players on my board, because I know how to use the queue, and there's only 1 left. And so it actually is interesting. I went Henry in the first round. I'm going to come back and take a player that is slipping way too far. Devon Achane is going to be the pick at the 205. The injury has knocked him down ADP. I like him much more than Jonathan Taylor, who goes next, putting Mike on the clock with Jahmyr Gibbs on his roster.
I will say, if you want to talk about could X player be the number 1, I think Devon Achane has a higher odds to be number 1 than Taylor because he could catch, 90 passes this year.
Okay. Well, Mike, you're on the clock. What are you thinking about?
So I'm looking at the wide receivers, ADP-wise. It's A.J. Brown, Ladd, Tyreek, T. So the way that I have it projected out, it would be it's A.J. Brown would be the clear pick there. At the wide receiver, at the running back position, Kyron, Bucky, Chase Brown. Man, I love Chase Brown there, but the fact that A.J. Brown dropped to me, I'm just going to take him. Make it easy.
So you split. Jason went 2 wide. I went 2 running back. That'll be fun to play out in a mock draft. And Mike with the 1-and-1 situation. Chase Brown, any temptations there, Mike?
Yes. Yeah, there's definitely temptations to have him, but I want I want a top 10
Flexibility.
wide receiver right there.
T. Higgins goes next at the 9th pick of the second round. Kyron at 210. So Brooksy stacks the running back, Saquon and Kyron. Ladd McConkey going at 211. I've found myself having a harder time drafting Ladd lately. JSN rounding out the second round. Any thoughts before we take a break?
Is the Ladd McConkey just Keenan Allen based, or is it shifting philosophies? Or
Yeah, it's mostly Keenan Allen based, and just the fact that I think their running game will be successful. And so you saw the second half of the year where they had no choice and no players, and Ladd benefited. Like, I have him slightly under his reception and target totals of last year, believe it or not. So I love Ladd, but I do think that Keenan will have a role.
They really didn't have a lot of options at the end of last year. Ladd was really, really good, and then it was like, well, we could throw to Huge on the outside, and we can't run the ball, so let's just keep throwing to Ladd.
Yeah, and I would say this, too, in best ball leagues and things you're drafting this weekend, don't forget that Huge exists. He ends up really, really low in ADP, and if you're in a best ball league, he can score for that team, and he is not like, it's not like he's out for the year or anything like that. He's just recovering from a concussion. We'll take a break after the second round here and come back and continue the mock. Brock Bowers, the Brock of the mock. Third round, first pick.
They both made it to the third.
Bucky Irving, Tyreek Hill, Omarion Hampton, Trey McBride. I noticed that's Brooks' first wideout, Tyreek Hill. How do you think he feels about Tyreek as your first?
Hopeful. If Tyreek is your first, there's only one way you can feel. It's hopeful.
He says he regrets not taking JSN with the second pick after being left with Tyreek. But, Mike, you're on the clock. Gibbs, A.J. Brown.
So, looking at the wide receivers real quick, ADP, we got Marv, Evans, Garrett Wilson. So, a different tier while the running backs are about to deplete. But so you have James Cook, Ken Bone Walker is there. As much as I love Ken Walker, I do have James Cook ranked ahead of him. So I think the running back
there.
I think the running back is going to be an issue on the way back, and like those mid-round wide receivers, so I'm going to take James Cook.
I have been much more comfortable with James Cook lately.
He's been much more comfortable in his 3,000 thread count sheets.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's a good way to sleep. You can sleep at night for many years.
Do they even make those? I don't know. What's the highest thread count?
Does
anyone know
Jason
this?
would know.
Yeah, Jay, what's the highest thread count? How high does it go?
It goes to 3,000. I don't know.
All right. Mike Evans goes off the board next. Interesting. Evans over Garrett Wilson, over Marvin Harrison.
I would have.
I'm going to pull the trigger here on Marvin Harrison as my wide receiver one after drafting Henry and Achane. So Marvin at 308, Ken Walker off the board at 309. Al Borland has Josh Jacobs already on the roster. He just drafted Micah Parsons. Wow, in the third round?
I asked the AI overlords, what's the highest thread count sheets available? Some brands advertise thread counts up to 1,500 or even claim 3,000.
Oh,
Okay.
baby.
You're right
The random
on.
number apparently is the highest it gets.
Oh, boy. Are those
Can you
It's
even
the highest it claims.
Yeah, can you even lay on it, or do you just like slip overnight you just slowly slide off the bed?
Yeah, that's
you nailed it. 3,000. Ken Walker, Alvin Kamara, Travion Henderson at 311. Too rich for your blood, Mike, or are you okay with that?
I'm okay with him in the fourth, and the Falcons right there on the turn. I don't think Jason would have taken him.
I
but,
would 100% have taken.
Oh, you would have?
Yep.
Well, then he made the correct decision because 311 or 402, that doesn't really matter.
Both of you had two wideouts already, so yeah, it makes sense that
For
running
sure.
backs are on the docket.
Yeah, so here's the issue of, double tapping the wide receivers at the beginning. It leaves you at a totally different tier of running backs allowed, left on the board. Breece Hall, okay, he's next up in ADP. Chuba's a good running back. James Conner's a good running back, but these are not exciting picks that, if you
Correct.
compare those to some of the other difference makers that are on the board, there are guys that are just way more important for fantasy. So I know I came in so this is something where you have to stay water. You have to be willing to pivot. I'm always going to try my best to take difference makers over average guys I need on my roster. I'm not a big 0 RB drafter. I don't like drafting that way. But if that's what the value is when you're on, then that's what I'm going to have to do. And I'm going to do something.
That's a long way of saying George Kittle.
It's actually something I literally never do. I recommend.
Are you the
not
first
doing it.
quarterback off the board?
You going dub onesies?
I'm going dub onesies.
What?
Because I'm on the 12 spot and what's
Okay.
allowed left. I'm going to take Lamar Jackson and George Kittle. I
The-
feel
the
like
George Kittle disrespect.
because
Dropping him into the fourth.
Unbelievable.
no, I wanted him first in that round. I didn't want him to be the last pick of a round.
Yeah, that's a dumb argument.
So, anyways, I took Lamar Jackson and George Kittle because my running backs are going to be
come
weaker.
on.
If I were to draft running backs there, I'm weaker than every other team in the league. Like already.
Right.
Sorry,
Now I've got a strength over them at a
Yeah.
different position.
I want to hear you talk about your running backs later.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's going to suck. This is at the end of this draft. This is going to be more of a 0 RB draft where my running backs will look very, very poor. But in a real fantasy league that is a managed league, I'm going to be crazy on the waiver wires. I'm going to be going hard after the injuries, and at the end of the draft, I'll be drafting a bunch of the backups.
I'm upset because after Kittle, Connor went, and then Garrett Wilson and DK Metcalf. I wanted both of those players. I wanted one of them to be my wide receiver too. So I'm going to pull the trigger here on Terry McLaurin in the 4th round, who was dominant last year, just got paid, love the offense, and 4th round I can live with it. So Josh Allen first or second quarterback off the board to Betsy, puts Mike back on the clock. Gibbs, A.J. Brown, James Cook so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's been falling pretty easy for me, so I'm going to stay balanced. I'm going to take my guy, Tedero McMillan, here in the 4th round. I thought Betts would take him for sure.
I have a question
So
for you.
That's a nice little treat for me. What's that?
One of the players that is not moving up in ADP, but maybe, in my opinion, should be much higher because of the recent circumstances. I'm just curious about the temperature. You guys, take the temperature on Xavier Worthy because, this is going to be their guy. He was so good down the stretch. There is no Rashee Rice for 6 weeks. It seems like maybe he's being slightly undervalued.
I agree. I agree completely. He's a more talented player than I think the Rashee Rice news and the hype of he's not going to be suspended this year. It's going to go to next year. Oh, it's going to be in the middle of this year. He carried the cycle. And so the question that what we're doing with the Chiefs has always been assuming that Rashee Rice is the one. But the truth is Xavier Worthy could be the one for this team.
Yes, he definitely could be the one.
He projects to be that. I'm torn on Worthy because it wasn't until the end of the year that it really came on for him. Look, he's a rookie.
That's normal, right?
Yeah, it is. But while it was good for fantasy, I mean, it was good the games that he got you a touchdown. And I have my concerns of
If they throw deep, though, isn't he one of the biggest beneficiaries?
well, they tried to use him that way at the beginning of the year, and it was not working at
worked
all.
in the Super Bowl.
Sure, it's not an impossibility, of course, but when you're looking at 11 targets from Mahomes turned into 6 for 46, 11 targets turned into 7 for 65, and then the Chiefs of Hollywood Brown is there and healthy right now, and the end of last year they were hurting at the wide receiver position of anybody reliable. So I have my concerns of if he's not getting 9 or more targets on a weekly basis, I think you're getting 50 or fewer yards, and then you're just hoping that he scores, which it's Mahomes. Things could turn around in an instant for the Kansas City Chiefs passing attack. I am lower on Worthy than you guys are.
All right, Mike, you're on the clock. Gibbs and Cook at running back, A.J. Brown and Tet McMillan at wide receiver, 5th round pick. You are balanced at the moment.
I am.
We still got some one top-tier quarterback maybe available. We
do. We got Joey B is still there. The wide receiver position, Adams. Rice is there because of ADP. Worthy is there. Ooh, man. So at the running back position, Breece Hall is
Wow.
that's exactly. Is is 5th round punishment enough for Breece Hall?
That is definitely punishment.
That we should probably be drafting him there, which oh man, it still feels bad. Still feels bad.
Take him over Burrow.
Why? What's your plan here? What's your scheme?
My scheme is to build my best team. I don't care about your team, Mike.
I'm gonna try it. Breece Hall.
I think
It feels bad.
I think he likes.
It feels bad immediately.
He likes the pattern. What's wild is, Devontae Adams.
Yeah, and then George goes next, who would have probably been my wide receiver pick. It feels terrible.
George Pickens went next. Yeah, I'm back on the clock.
This is the worst.
Adams was there in the 3rd. I thought about it. He was there in the 4th. I thought about it. He's there in the 5th. I mean, I'm taking Devontae Adams, Harrison, McLaurin, Adams after starting Henry Achan. I feel good about that. Xavier Worthy goes next to Kurt. I wasn't willing to pull the trigger on Worthy over Adams there. It was those two and Devontae Smith that were the last names in that tier for me. Joe Burrow off the board. Producer Borland himself, and then Devontae Smith goes. You shook your head. I think you maybe wanted him, Jason. I don't know.
No. I shook my head because I was shocked. I just assumed because it was the Falcon that he'd be going after my Caleb Johnson. As a team that needs a running back, and I'm on the turn. I might have to reach ahead of ADP, but
you're looking for a third stringer, or
I'm looking for my
RB1.
RB1.
You can't play him in week 1.
I can play him in week 1, and I have to play him in week 1. With this roster.
You can.
Looking at the other positions,
the platform
though,
will allow it.
Like I said earlier, I'm never going to just automatically say I need a running back, so I have to take a running back. You have to glance at the other positions. I'm looking. I like Travis Hunter, but he's a question mark. Zay Flowers, whatever. I don't need a tight end. I don't need a quarterback. So I'm going to double tap the running back position here. Tony Pollard is undervalued right now because he starts the first 4 weeks of this season as a bell cow on an offense that could be majorly improved.
And even when for Spears was it ankle?
I don't remember, but he's on the PUP, so he's gone for the first 4 weeks. So I think it was a high ankle.
I'm gonna vet it.
So I'm going to take Tony Pollard, and I'm going to follow that up with Caleb Johnson.
So it was a high ankle sprain, which, like, Spears is out the first 4 games. It would not be surprising for two weeks after that for Spears to still not be remotely close to himself. So I mean, if you're talking 5 to 6 weeks of Tony Pollard as the main guy.
And now when I look at the difference between Tony Pollard or what I could have grabbed in a James Conner or a Chuba Hubbard versus now if I had gone James Conner and Chuba Hubbard and I wanted a quarterback and a tight end, I'd be looking, instead of Lamar Jackson and George Kittle, I'd be at Baker Mayfield and Sam Laporta. So I'm very happy that I did the rare double onesie tap.
Still going to need an RB2, though.
Nope. I've got a fantasy MVP.
All right. Ridley, Kelsey, Swift off the board. That puts me back on the clock.
Oh, my gosh.
Kelsey and Swift back to back.
There's no.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Kelsey and Swift right next to each other.
Well, this is cool. I have not liked a draft more than this one going double running back. I don't know if it's just because of the way other people picked, but I feel like I'm just getting stars at wide receiver every round, no matter how long this draft goes. I'm taking Rome Odunze in the 6th round. So Harrison, McLaurin, Adams, and Odunze. Travis Hunter, yes, went next and was on the short list as well. Mike.
Could you have more opposite running backs than you do? Derrick Henry and Achan as a combo just feels like.
I'll get my ground and pound, and I'll give my through the air. Feel good about that.
I see Achan like up riding on the shoulders of Derrick
yeah.
Henry. You know what I mean? Like if they were in a pool,
are we trench coating or are we chicken fighting?
They're chicken fighting.
Who was the two? Oh gosh, I'm not going to remember his name. When the Titans had Henry,
White.
Yes.
I thought you were going to Chris Johnson.
No. There was a tiny running back that they had, and I can't remember his name.
Back in the
Kyle will remember
when Henry was on the Titans.
Yes, because they stood next to each other in training camp one time, and just like Achan.
Well, that's because Mark Ingram looked tiny next to.
I cannot remember the name. It's not Al Borland. No.
Dion Lewis.
That's what it was.
Betts wins that one.
Yeah, all right. Mike, you're back on the clock.
Oh, am I?
Gibbs, Brown, Cook, McMillan, Hall. color symmetry says you want to go with a wide receiver if you want to go back and forth.
Okay. So looking at the ADP, Rashee Rice, the standoff is still going. I don't hate the idea of taking him right here, especially like I already have A.J. Brown and Ted McMillan. I feel strong there. Like I can wait. But I got to know the rest of these clowns here as we are going to move into the 7th. I'm in the middle of the 7th round. I'm going to scroll. Don't forget to scroll down, ladies and gentlemen. Do not forget to scroll down because I'm going to take Emeka Egbuka.
All right, so you are doing it.
ADP-wise, that is a reach. I don't know
It's
in
not
home
really a
leagues
reach.
that it
In
will
home,
end up as a reach.
That's right where he's going to be going in leagues. If you look at best ball ADP, he's already way above that point. He's basically almost a 5th rounder, which is getting a little spicy.
Yeah,
like maybe too much. And he's my guy. I believe in him, but where you took him, I think is the perfect spot.
you thought Warren was going to make it to you?
Warren is a 7th round pick in every draft I've seen lately. I know early in the offseason he was almost undrafted.
Well, the people don't know what's going on. Egbuka, Aaron Jones, Stephon Diggs, Zay Flowers, Ricky Pearsall, Patrick Mahomes in the 7th or in the late 6th. Charbonnet, Tyler Warren in the 7th round, Krosky Merritt,
Bill Krosky.
Jalen Warren, Chris Olave, Mike back on the clock.
All right. Man, so I got to look at the running back just in case I can make my my pattern continue to go. But it's Mixon, Judkins, Tracy, ETN, Scadaboo. Jordan Mason wouldn't be the worst pick right there, but I don't particularly love it. Jerry Jeudy, I think, is fascinating right here. How long does Joe Flacco get to keep that job? What did you guys temperature check on Jacoby with after the old I want to make more money, so send me away? I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, I look at him like exactly like Juwan Jennings. Necessary.
But I'm saying like
angry.
Do you see him as
necessary.
still the same?
For now, yeah.
Jay, where are you, Jacoby?
It's tough because I think obviously if he moves, you don't know how. I think the fact that he's necessary is why we like him as a Raider. But then you add Amari Cooper, and it makes me question how necessary he is. Not that Amari Cooper has a ton left, but just having anyone else there, Brock Bowers is going to be the number 1 target. So then it's like if you're kind of fighting over 2 incoming rookies, Thornton's looked great. You add Amari Cooper. I'm not really in on Jacoby right now.
Right. Looking through the names, I'm just going to take Jerry Jeudy right here. I'm not 100% confident in Jerry Jeudy, but in the 7th round, he is someone who could vastly outplay his ADP.
All right, Rashee Rice, 707. How do you feel about that pick? Matthew Betts taking Rice in the 7th.
I like it. He's run with hero RB with Johnny Taylor as his only guy, but this team will get stronger as the year goes.
Jason?
I would rather have other wide receivers that are on the board right now. I will say that, kind of echoing what Mike just said, he is the type of build that Rice works. He's his wide receiver 4. I would not take Rice ahead of being my 4th wide receiver.
It's his wide receiver 5.
Or yes. He can't be one of your top 3 wide receivers.
All right, we'll take a quick break and come back with the rest of the mock. All right, I'm back on the clock. Henry and Achane at running back, Harrison, McLaurin, Adams, and Adunze at wide receiver. Yes, I had my sights set on Tyler Warren making it through.
He would not have made it past me.
Okay. Well, I'll pull the trigger on what I think would be a more difference-making situation for my team at this point. I could add some depth at running back. I could add there's nobody in the quarterback tier that I need to fight over. I'm okay with the Jordan Mason choice here. I'm okay going starter. Javonte Williams, low ceiling. I think I'm going to pull the trigger on Sam Laporta. I don't think I've drafted him in a mock. He's 2.5 rounds beyond ADP. I think Laporta late 7th is fine. Matthew Golden goes next. That was unfortunately my other pick.
He was highest on my queue, so
Yeah.
he certainly would not have gotten to you.
All right, Matthew Golden, Jordan Mason, Tyrone Tracy, often ignored and yet starting Tyrone Tracy. I don't know why we ignore him so much because he was really good when he played football last year. Other than fumbling, he was outrageously talented on a bad offensive situation.
The reason that we, as a group, don't care that much about Tyrone Tracy is Cam Scadaboo. And that could be very foolish. Cam Scadaboo's, a day 3 running back that the reports middle of camp came out saying this is Tyrone Tracy's team. It's not Cam Scadaboo's team. And so I think it's just our kind of pre-NFL draft scouting of Cam Scadaboo. I believe that's the reason.
For me, it's more of a, like Tracy was Tracy was a workhorse. And even though maybe he is the 1A, that's fine. Scadaboo will be involved. The offense is not going to be great. And then where you're taking Tracy, like I think that Tracy, because so the Falcons team he's got Travion and James Conner. Tracy's not going to crack his starting lineup unless an injury in week 1 or 2 happen. Tracy won't make it into his starting lineup, and Tracy will lose value, in my opinion, as Scadaboo becomes more and more involved. So by the time you're like, okay, I need to get Tracy in here, you've already lost value. No
chance Tracy outperforms Henderson for the first part of the year?
I don't think there is.
I would be surprised by that as well. All right, so I'm on the clock here. I'm balanced. Obviously, I had my 2 stud wide receivers, Puka and Nico, and my running backs are a little bit weaker with Tony Pollard and my MVP, Caleb Johnson. I'm going to go 1 wide receiver, 1 running back here because I think there's value at both. Deebo Samuel is a little bit left for dead here in the 7th round at the end and at the beginning of the 8th. I'm going to take Austin Eckler. I think he pairs really nice.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot for him.
with my roster. Tony Pollard, Caleb Johnson, and Austin Eckler. I'm actually totally fine with those as my running backs going into a season when I didn't get my first running back until round 5.
Hawkinson off the board after Jason's 2 selections, putting Al Borland on the clock. He's taking his time with it, still searching for Micah Parsons. I don't know if he's going to be able to find him. He begged for an IDP league today.
He can still take him.
And he is really struggling here.
Sorry, my computer froze for a sec. So
He was adding ads to the show.
The draft board's frozen on our screen as well, but I'm going to try and get that fixed.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's sleeper.
Hey, we fixed it.
Oh, look at that little tiny draft board. Khalil Shakir off the board. Evan Ingram leaving me with the disgusting decision to add depth at running back, a starter. Javonte Williams in the 8th round.
Yeah.
That's about I want to draft Javonte in a couple of spots when I won't have to start him at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the rest of my players.
Yeah,
that's a player I don't like.
I would add a third caveat to that because I agree when you don't have to start him and you like the rest of your players, that's a great place for Javonte. But I would add the third tier of in the 10th round or later.
Oh, and I didn't do that.
No, but 2 out of 3 is not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, at running back at this point, you're just picking – if you don't take Javonte Williams there, and J.K. Dobbins would have been also in similar situation, but has R.J. Harvey there. If you don't take those 2 guys, you are just – it's
Travis Etienne, Cam Scadaboo, Ramondre. I mean, come on. Studs.
Yeah, I mean,
you
those guys
stopped before there was a draftable player.
Studs.
I mean –
Nick Chubb?
I mean, Chubb,
yeah,
I guess
Chubb
you could
available.
go Chubb. But, Mike, you're back on the clock.
So I'm going to peek over at the quarterback position. Looking at my draft, there are 2 teams in between this and my next pick who need a quarterback, and they may take the chance. I haven't made an official move to Dak's stats, but, man, I really think the loss of Micah Parsons could jump Dak into just another tier and move him up. And then I'm looking at, one of those teams that needs a quarterback, drafted CeeDee Lamb with their first pick. So if I want Dak, I bet I have to do it here. The fallback would be, I have Ibuka. Do I want
Kyle is confirming
that he would have that.
Well, he all he said was shove it, Mike. So I don't know. I don't know what that means.
I'm just saying, like breaking it. He didn't even need to tell me. I knew that Dak would probably be his next pick. Am I okay risking that and just taking Baker as the fallback? But Baker could go as well. And the answer is I am not. So I'm going to take Dak.
All right. Dak makes the tier jump right here on this mock. So Kyle can't take him, goes Keon Coleman instead. And I'm guessing begrudgingly.
Sure.
Bo Nix goes next, Tyler Kraft, Nick Chubb.
Tucker.
What did I say?
Tyler.
That's not him.
You're thinking about Tyler Warren way too much, man.
Yeah, I really am. Nick Chubb, Quinshon Judkins.
Okay.
Is he on your board at all?
He is super on my board, but late.
Super.
Well, he's a target. He's when
Like
I
in
say
big
super on my board,
font?
I mean he is a highlighted target for me. I think he should usually be going more around the 10th round. So maybe this is a smidge early. However,
Man, I am
any
just not
minute.
interested.
and that's
I'm not either.
And I totally get that. He
The
doesn't have a
suspension
contract. Absolutely. But here's the truth. If he were to sign tomorrow, if the breaking news comes, he signs tomorrow, and it is somewhat likely that in the next week or two he signs a contract. If that happens, he would be totally viewed completely differently, and we wouldn't be talking about this is too early for him. If he gets a suspension, which is the case was dropped, he might not. But if he does, it's
He will get a
He will get suspended.
then it's 3 games because there's no way that they're going like that's the automatic suspension for that, for domestic violence. They're not going to go over and above the automatic when the case was dropped. If they give a 3-game suspension, okay, if they were to sign him now and then he misses the first 3 weeks, you're still talking about, a second-round draft pick, talented running back who has really not that much competition. I mean, Dylan Sampson, if maybe Judkins doesn't play this year. I mean, it's a huge risk, but I do think that the likeliest outcome is that he plays the majority of games this season.
Mike, you're back on the clock. Dak in the last round. We got 3 picks left for the 3 of
We're
our
about
teams.
to close it out. I was, Kyle, I'm sure you'll be delighted. I was punished by taking Dak there because Tucker Kraft went.
I don't think you're punished. I think you've been rewarded.
To not draft Tucker Kraft?
Correct.
Why is that?
Because I think you should stack here.
Oh, what, Jake Ferguson?
I think you should take Jake Ferguson.
Yeah.
If you think Dak really leveled up and the offense really leveled up, I would see Ferguson and Kraft in the same. Either one could outperform the other one.
Okay. I still have Tucker Kraft ahead. I do like Jake Ferguson. We just highlighted him at sometime this week. But looking at the rest of the Fools, we got Betts is the only team that doesn't have a tight end. So even if I don't end up with Ferguson, there's still a couple guys that I really like there. And I don't know who's clamoring for Tank Bigsby besides me, but I don't want to risk a starter running back 4. That's right, starter.
Yeah. Tank Bigsby, Cam Scattaboo, 9th round. I've got to get the taste of Javonte Williams out of my mouth.
That's going to need a lot of mouthwash.
So I'm going to go ahead and go Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp in the 9th round.
That was the most resigned.
I'm going to wash down this Javonte with another.
There's a point where Cooper Kupp, who's on the field every play, is dropping way too far. It
could be.
It's really ridiculous, in my opinion, to look at like Jacoby Myers and Michael Pittman went ahead of him, right? Khalil Shakir went ahead of him. Like, he can put up those seasons. Juwan Jennings, Brian Robinson, Jaden Blue. Jason, you have 3 picks left. 2 right here.
2 right here. There's a handful of backups. I'll just name them because when I'm in more of a 0 RB build, I'm looking at guys like Trey Benson, Will Shipley, that I think are really good insurance policies. And then you've got Ollie Gordon and Kendre Miller, who might be even more than that. They could sneak their way into.
Do you not think that there's a chance that Benson is?
Benson could be as well. Yeah, I mean they've talked about like a 1A 1B situation as far as playing time. So I'm probably leaning towards Trey Benson. He's of that group, I think the most talented back. Also, his starter is old and usually misses games. So I'm going to take Trey Benson with 1 pick. And then here at the very end, it's a matter of, I've only got 3 wide receivers. I think they're really good wide receivers. If I didn't like them more, I would swing for the fences with Jaden Higgins, but I'm going to play it a little safer here in the 10th round and grab Keenan Allen, who I think will be very, very involved on a weekly basis.
All right, Jason goes Benson, Keenan Allen, Baker Mayfield off the board at 10:02. Long wait for Baker. Najee, Braylon Allen. I'm back on the clock. I have 2 picks left. I'm going to need a quarterback, so I'm going to glance in that direction. I could stack Mr. Marvin Harrison with Kyler Murray. I've talked a lot about Jordan Love, how much I like him this year. I think Jared Goff, with the emergence of Isaac Tesla.
Oh, wait, hold on. Cover your ears.
Oh, gosh. We did not adjust it, did we?
I did. I knocked it down 25%.
Yeah, that's a brain.
That's 25%.
It's scratching your brain for you, man.
You need to increase it 50% from this.
I'm willing to wait until the last round for my quarterback here. I'm going to take
Wow.
Ollie Gordon and make sure that I have Devon Achane insured.
I can't believe you didn't take Kyler Murray here to stack with Marv. That's shocking to me that Ollie Gordon.
There's only one team that doesn't have a quarterback, and if Kyle wants to disrupt his own franchise to disrupt mine, that's fine. If anybody else takes a double quarterback, I guess I'll miss out.
Yeah, I guess I just look at Kyler Murray as the clear best fantasy quarterback left, and then you had the stack. So
I like a lot of these other quarterbacks.
yeah, I mean the nice thing is if you pivot, it's not like you're going to be wrecked. I know you like Jordan Love quite a bit.
I don't like
Jared
him.
Goff. You don't?
No, he loves him.
Thank you, Mike.
It was right there.
Even
man.
with Micah Oh yeah, I forgot his name.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about that too much. Jason, we all have 1 pick left, or Mike has one right now, and then we all have the final round.
I'm just going to take an upside rookie pick. I like Luther Burden a lot. There's a chance of him really making some noise if we get some slot snaps.
We've got Dylan Sampson off the board to Kyle, Ray Davis, Kyle Monangai, Jaden Reed, Blake Corum. We are coming down to the end here. Jordan Addison. I love that pick. Jordan Addison in the final round of this mock. Perfect. Dante Thornton off the board. Cedric Tillman.
Great pick, Brooks.
Off the board. I like all 3 of them. So far, we're on a roll. Horton and then
good job, people. I mean, Jordan Addison, Thornton, Tillman, and Horton. That is a 4-pack in the 11th round that all could. They feel like they could all do something special this year.
I am back on the clock with my final pick. I did not get Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray went to Kyle, but that's fine. Then I don't have to have Kyler Murray. You know what I mean? Like if you don't take him,
the biggest
you do not have to have him on your team.
Biggest advantage of someone else drafting him is that you can't.
So I could shoot my shot with Drake May.
If Marvin Harrison is good, who was your first wide receiver drafted, wouldn't that mean Kyler's better?
No.
So it doesn't. So
no, it
if
doesn't
Marvin
mean
Harrison
that at
levels
all.
up, Kyler's worse. Got it.
No, it doesn't mean that. But we
definitely doesn't mean that. We've seen that a million times.
We've seen quarterbacks have 2 good wide receivers, and then that quarterback is not actually functional for fantasy somehow.
Yeah,
it works out that way.
We've been there. They scored what? Like Cardinals scored like 50 million points against the Bears, and Kyler was in single digits. I mean, this team is weird now. So I will take my one of my finalists for fantasy MVP, Jordan Love, in the 11th round to be my quarterback. I'm fine with that. Brock Purdy goes next. Jason, get ready. You've got 1 pick left. I hope it's a good one.
I've got 3 guys I love, but Jaden Higgins here in the 11th round. I know he's right now playing behind some other players, but he's a talented second-round rookie that is needed for the Texans.
All right, we are done with our final
We did it.
mock draft of the 2025 offseason.
Next
Jason.
time it's for real.
Henry, Achane, Javonte, and Ollie Gordon at running back, Harrison, McLaurin, Adams, Dunze, and Kupp at wide receiver, Jordan Love, Sam Laporta are the onesies.
I've got onesies of Lamar Jackson and George Kittle, Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, Deebo Samuel, Keenan Allen, and Jaden Higgins at wide receiver. And then my running backs are Tony Pollard, Caleb Johnson, Austin Eckler, and Trey Benson.
I have at running back, I got Gibbs, James Cook, Breece Hall, Tank Bigsby. My wide receivers are A.J. Brown, Tep McMillan, Emeka Ibuka, Jerry Jeudy, and Luther Burden. Then I got Dak and his tight end, Jake Turd Ferguson.
Who you ended up with the last pick in the draft. Final thoughts you guys have on the way the draft ended up?
I think that this is it's hard to draft from the 12 spot. You've got to make sure that you're staying open to who's on the board, and this was a good group of drafters, so I think it was difficult, but I'm happy how it turned out. I'll just have to scour the waiver wire for the running back diamonds in the rough.
Gainwell's still out there, I think.
Sure, yeah.
No
He'll
show.
stay there.
No show on Monday. We have Labor Day off, and then we'll be getting into the first week of the fantasy football season. All of the shows. Yeah, this was the last moment.
This was the last.
Did you forget?
Well,
Yeah,
I didn't realize that our next show we are talking about Week 1 football.
We are talking about Week 1 football. Now, we will have one extra episode hitting YouTube. Our final special August mini-series episode, Just the Tips, will release on Saturday morning. I believe Jason will be taking a peek at some late-round steals at the wide receiver position.
Yep.
So a chance to jump in and hear some extra content there on YouTube, which you can subscribe and have a better experience than some of the YouTubers were having in the past. YouTube.com/TheFantasyFootballer. Subscribe, click the bell. We also just added a Clips channel that you can find on there if you want to subscribe to that also. It's your last chance to get into the Ultimate Draft Kit for the weekend. So head to ultimatedraftkit.com. It's a great time to go into the draft analyzer, import the teams that you drafted. You'll get a grade from us, as well as a breakdown of your strengths and weaknesses and ways that you can approach your team heading into the 2025 season. And don't forget to get into the Megala Bowl at megalabowl.com. That is it for today's show. That is it for the offseason. So
we did it,
prepare
everybody.
yourself. Hydrate, get ready. Week 1's on the way.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.